I think it's high time that everyone learns that complaining is not conversation. Those are not the same thing. But social media and algorithms that have caused you to primarily only see posts that are complainy or negative or toxic or controversial in some way has kind of led multiple generations now into treating just outright complaints and negativity in under the guise of quote unquote criticism as having a conversation. And those are not the same thing at all. But people really think they are. I'm not one of those people that has the mantra of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, blah, blah, blah. It's not my thing. But I do believe that there is a time and a place to complain about something, to voice your stance on it. And that if you're just railroading other people who are trying to talk about a thing with your complaint over and over, you're not contributing, you're not helping, you're just yelling at the wall, and you're not being silenced when people ask you to stop. The issue comes in, I think, that people have gotten so used to social media posts as a vehicle. You know, you open up Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, tagged, whatever back in the day. You post a status update. And to a lot of people, that is a conversation starter. Whatever hot take, half-baked shower thought, whatever you put into those 240 characters or, you know, whatever equivalent these days. To a lot of people now, that's a conversation starter. But that's not even a place for conversation for the most part. Like, posting something out into the void as a status is not a conversation. But people have gotten so accustomed to this. We've lost our way with regards to understanding what the different tools on the internet can be used for. Like, social media had this one purpose. Instant messaging had this one purpose. Email had this one purpose. Research sites, news sites, whatever. Like, everything under, you know, the capitalist greed to get you all in one place so that they can make the most money from you. Everyone has kind of lost what the purpose of every individual tool or platform is for. And it's really corrupted how we communicate. And it's really sad to see, but especially as someone who has enjoyed gaming his entire life, who has gamed, you know, this is a gaming channel, who has played video games, enjoyed it, followed the press for it and stuff. There are plenty of things that deserve criticism. There are plenty of things that merit a full-blown, you know, movement response, whatever. Absolutely. But people really get stuck now on these, I guess, specific things that they don't like about a thing, and just continue to harp on them, even when no one asked, even when other people are enjoying it and having a conversation about it. Often there are those that lurk or eventually participate that just like want to keep bringing up this thing and being like, no, it's bad because this. And you can still enjoy something that has a negative aspect to it. That's most forms of media, entertainment, hobbies, whatever. Like, nothing's perfect. But these days it feels like things that aren't perfect are always remembered for the bad thing, even if all in all it was fine. Even if the thing that is supposedly bad about it was blown out of proportion by some people who wanted to get clicks rather than the real thing. And that concerns me, especially when it comes to media, especially when it comes to video games that are supposed to be a really fun leisurely activity. I mean, luxury for some, for sure. It's something that's just supposed to help you escape and to give you a fun time, and people can't escape. Like, this mechanic is slightly imbalanced compared to this, so the devs suck and you can't enjoy this game anymore. And it's like, I'm just here to play games, man. I just want to play a game. There's plenty of games out there that the internet hive mind has tried to convince you are horrible games that you should never play, that are really bad compared to the previous ones, that are completely cringe or whatever. And when you go and eventually try them, you're like, yeah, Wasn't, you know, there's parts of it that didn't blow me away, but like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with it. What's the big deal? And there are entire games that have had their sales completely tanked over these kinds of things. It's getting worse and worse as this impact seems to be bigger and bigger. And it almost feels contradictory to like the wants of gamers, because I feel like we're in an industry that is, I'm fairly certain, crashing right now, that is trying to condense and sanitize everything into these very condensed, like just enclosed experiences that they can just continue to milk and milk over cycles for money. Battle Royales, MMOs, you know, the Fortnites. Like, everyone's trying to get their Fortnite or Minecraft and forget everything else, no matter if it's a huge success, no matter if it's a great breakout game, no matter whatever. If it's not printing infinite money, which very few games do, the ones that do are pure anomalies, then it's the studio's getting shut down, the game's losing support, whatever. We're fighting that industry, and the way to fight that industry would be to support as diverse of a games library as possible, to support buying older games, to support indie devs, to support smaller games that may not be perfect but are worth picking up, especially cheaper or whatever. And instead, it feels like the only games protected from the onslaught of the angry hive mind mob online are those very cash cows. It doesn't make any sense. And ultimately, I just really worry about the well-being of people who exist in this space and continue to do this. I really do. Having a conversation is a back and forth where you listen to what the other person says and respond to it and interact with it. And sometimes, yeah, you may just like move on from a point and then state your thoughts, and you know, you get to be listened to. But it's not just complaining. Complaining and only focusing on the complaint without any balanced perspective or awareness of the rest of the situation, that's not a conversation. And people who want to point out that there are still good things about whatever thing you're complaining about and can still enjoy them, those are the people more capable of having conversations. But a lot of people these days, like, they only want their online interactions to be complaining. And if you're not complaining, you're a bootlicker. You're ignorant to the bad of the thing, even if you've experienced the bad and it isn't a deal breaker for you, because it's just like, oh, the story wasn't mind-boggling, but the game was so fun for 100 hours, or I've played this game for 5 years and got tons of good multiplayer out of it, and so I'm still gonna go back to it every once in a while, even if the current meta for it or whatever isn't great. Like, or if it's the game, sure, started out and had a rough 6 months, didn't launch super great, but it spent the next 2 years being amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with it, especially if I paid for it. Like, just focusing on the complaints is not making you more... It doesn't give you more integrity. It doesn't make you more genuine. Instead, not listening to why people might enjoy the thing despite your complaints, that means you're not participating in the conversation. I don't know. Just had some thoughts to get out. Remember to be kind. Rewind.
Losing C. C lost. Game over. Victory.